G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game spawning in on the northwest side of the map. We've got Don Artie playing the English in the other side of the map, or on the other side of the map we've got Zerton going to be playing the Abbasid dynasty for us today in the color red. Now, if you missed the first game in this series, unfortunately, spoilers, Don Artie managed to win, and managed to win with the Abbasid. So we could potentially see another Abbasid victory coming out today, which would be quite impressive. You know, Abbasid have been picked up more and more in this tournament. Now, keep in mind that these guys are playing, this is N4C, a $100,000 tournament that is on the line right here. You know, we're not talking 500 bucks here, we're not talking 1,000, we're not even talking 50,000, we're talking 100,000 big ones. And these guys are bringing out Abbasid. That's the civilization that they have identified as the strongest civilization. So interesting to see how the game is going to unfold, whether Zerton's going to be able to pull out some magic here, because keep in mind, this game is, well, I mean, at this point, it's a best of 3, so Don Artie is on match point right now. So if he wins this game, he will go through to the next round and look to take on the Mister, whereas if Zerton wins this game, then obviously we go through to game 3. But let's talk a little bit about these openings, about what is happening so far. Don opening up with a single scout, not going to be moving into a second scout at all, just the 2 villagers out on gold nice and early. Probably going to be keeping them there for a while. I expect that we'll be seeing a wheelbarrow opening from him, which is quite standard for Don. You know, Don, he loves a good little wheelbarrow, that guy. But on the other side, we've got Zerton. Now, Zerton looks like he's changing up things. So opening up with a lumber camp very early. He's mined up or chopped down 50 wood here. Now he himself is also going for a single scout opening, so not going to be doing any double scout shenanigans today. Probably not going to be looking at taking down any villagers on mining camp or anything like that, because he is playing against English. Kind of dangerous to do, honestly. If you make a second scout and you try and harass those villagers, you're asking for it. You're asking for it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we also see a wheelbarrow opening from him coming out today. These 2 players are typically, I wouldn't say these 2 players, but these 2 civs are civilizations that very commonly go for that early wheelbarrow opening. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Don goes up against the Abbasid here, because the Abbasid, in my opinion, I feel like they're an emerging civilization. I've got a feeling that they're getting up there. You know, if I was to do a tier list today, I'd probably say they were, you know, used to in the past be D tier, but they could have worked their way up, definitely past C tier, B tier, maybe even potentially A tier at the moment, because like when you think about it, right, and I know a lot of you guys will be shaking your heads out there and saying, A tier, Drongo, are you out of your mind? I mean, you got to think about it, right? Like, these guys come into a tournament, this is a cutthroat tournament, $100,000, and they're throwing down Abbasid picks in the first round. You could have picked Mongols, you could have picked French, you could have picked the Delhi, you could have picked, you know, the Holy Roman Empire. You could have picked anything. But you chose to pick the Abbasid. And now here in the second game, we see the Abbasid coming out again. So you really got to start wondering, if players are opting towards this civilization so regularly, I mean, surely it's got to be making moves, right? Got to be making moves. But speaking of making moves, we've got the economic wing coming up now for Zerton. Don obviously tapping away at the council hall. He's got 3 villagers on that bad boy. Looking to get it up as quickly as possible. Now, for anybody who missed it, this map is Altai. Altai, known for aggressive play. The English in particular, a very good civilization on this map. And you might be wondering, why is that, Drongo? Well, let me draw it out to you while we've got this villager. I thought we had that villager heading out, and it looked like it was going for a bit of a run. But we'll take a look down at the mini-map, okay? So I've got my my skinny brush out. So you can see how players have spawned in these 2 positions, right? Now, typically, you wouldn't get them in these positions. You kind of get them a little bit closer to the border, or a little bit closer to the corner. So potentially you might see like this, up on this side, and then down here. And so essentially, it's a longer distance on a normal map, whereas on Altai, it's quite a short distance that exists there. I should probably make that a little bit more extended, so it seems a little bit further. But that is one of the main reasons. The second reason that we've got, and we'll head into the middle just to demonstrate it, but Altai in the middle is very, very hilly. And one of the things to note in Age of Empires for the terrain, it's incredibly important to maintain line of sight over your opponent, and you can do that from being up high. So Altai, obviously towards the middle of the map, you can see it's got these hills, and the lower or the further that you go towards the enemy base, the more likely it is that it's going to be low, as you can see there. So players both having, you know, valleys where they spawn in, and then that hill region in the middle, and we can see now those longbows running out over towards the base of Zerton. So, yeah, that's essentially why the English are so good on this map. Abbasid, on the other hand, are just I mean, they're just a pretty solid civilization, so I'm curious to see what Don's going to be up, or how he's going to be going up against them. But it looks like Zerton not going to be going for a wheelbarrow opening. Instead, going to be dropping down an outpost. Now, this outpost is coming up right in time. You can see Don going to be putting down the outpost himself. But when it comes to the way that Zerton has spawned here, I mean, he's got a pretty good spawn, a nice little wall off that he can do here. He's got his deer close to the mill. I don't think Don's going to be able to get through this position here. But up towards this this northern area, you can take a look. Don is going to be able to get around here. Nice little berry spot in there. But I mean, that's the only other avenue in. So it's a bit of a difficult spot for him. Don now going to be looking to harass some villagers. Got to be careful. He's got a sheep following him. You don't want to donate that over to your enemy. Not that it's really a donation at this point, but yeah, you get what I mean. Now, Don's going to spot the horseman. He's going to spot the double archery range coming out here from his opponent as well. He's going to know exactly what the composition is for his enemy. Actually cancels the second archery range, so we'll check and see. So it's not in reaction to anything that he spotted in the base of Don. I'm curious exactly why that is. It might just simply be because the scout is there, and he didn't want him to know, hey, I'm going double archery range. And, you know, the fact that you've got your scout here, let's cancel that second archery range, because if you spot a second archery range coming out and like a stable, then Don can very safely just go full longbows. As long as he's got outposts, as long as he's got walls up, he should be able to go full longbows. But taking a look at Don, we'll see exactly what he is up to. So it does have the mill coming down at the back, wheelbarrow on the way, no surprises there. We'll have a look at the upgrades. He's got no lumber upgrades at the moment. Doesn't look like any specialized pick, and you wouldn't expect that, but longbow mass continuing to build up, and Don doing a great job of just taking control of the center of the map, which is exactly what you want to do as the English. So smart moves from Don. Already got that barracks out. You can see slowly but steadily those units will begin to trickle across the map, and now Don respecting the what was that? Don respecting the fact that his enemy has got a stable out and that there may be potential threats for raids, and so he says, you know what, we're just going to take control of the narrative. We're going to make it so that if he wants to attack us, that's fine. He's going to have to come through the walls first. Now, obviously, there's alternative routes into the base. You can try and sneak a cavalry unit through here. You can try and sneak a cavalry unit up through this position as well, but Don's going to, you know, just try and control that one a little bit. A little bit of a stock take at the moment. I'm curious to see where players are up to with regard to their second town centers. Zerton in particular has yet to add in his second town center, but is obviously gathering up the stone, so probably going to be investing in it shortly. I love the fact that he got this outpost up just to be very defensive. By the same token, I love the way that he's managed to get this wall in as well. Super smart play, and it sort of just forces Don to play a little bit more, a little bit slower. So ideally what Don wants to do in this position, he wants to try and push in against Zerton, try and idle villages, try and even take villages out if he can. That's a really big thing for him, and just try and look to trade with his army, because the English typically take very effective trades. They've got longbows, which have got higher damage, they've got longer range, and now we see a bit of a raid coming up towards the north back at Don's base. I mentioned this earlier, the fact that we could see horsemen try and sneak by around those extremities, and it seems like we may potentially have seen that. Villager now trying to get a little bit of a wall, and you can see he's doing the quick wall. He manages to actually wall the horsemen in, and now these spears going to be coming up, and look at this. We might have ourselves a little bit of an issue on our hands here as Zerton tries his best to escape. You can see the longbows coming across to cut, so very smart moves here from Don. He's going to come off here. He's just going to be able to rain fire down, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense. He should be able to pick up at least one of these horsemen here. Keep in mind he's playing English as well. The villagers could look to fire here on these horsemen. He's going to have to run past. Well, actually might not get past the town center. He doesn't need to. Bit of a mistake there from Don not walling that. You can see he's sending out the villager now to go and wall that down, but the horsemen do get through, and it does look like Zerton going to be able to get out of there without making too many difficult decisions, fortunately for him. Nobody getting left behind, but second town center should be due to come up any second. There it is now, getting dropped down on the back wood line with the stone right next to it. A little bit of a raid on the front line here. It looks like a villager actually going down for Don Artie. Bit of a mistake there. A very rare mistake to see, especially losing that to horsemen. Horsemen in particular do very low amounts of damage, so the fact that he lost a villager to horsemen, kind of cringe, Don. Kind of cringe, not gonna lie. I'm just kidding, Don. I'm just kidding. But now we spot Don managing to get up those walls, so basically just going to be keeping all of the enemy towards the front of his base. If he really wanted to, what he could do is wall off this point here as well, just towards the council hall, but I don't think that's particularly necessary. Don now beginning to move towards the center of the map. And battering ram going to be coming down for Don, so we did miss the blacksmith that is getting dropped down +1, also going to be coming in behind this. So he's looking to try and and punish his opponent now. Obviously would know about the second, or not know about the town center, but would suspect the second town center. We can see that Don has been locked out of his enemy's base for quite some time. Zerton towards the south has managed to put up walls. Nothing towards the north at this point, but you can make a very safe assumption in that the Abbasid player is going to be going for a second town center pretty quickly. But Don now going to be moving in with that battering ram, first battering ram of the game. Going to be dropping down a second outpost in this forward position. Obviously, already got this nice little high outpost, but going to be dropping down another one. Inside this, I think there's a scout. No, there's a horseman in this. Zerton got a single horseman. Zerton going to be looking to get up to the castle age sooner rather than later, but obviously needs to make sure he doesn't die. So it's a very difficult balancing act when you're playing as the Abbasid, wanting to get up to the castle age, but also wanting to stay alive. But we'll do a quick stock take because that second town center is up now. So we've got Zerton sitting on 39 villages. Don on the other side of the map, 36. So Don going to be looking to try and take villages out. Now, very smart moves here from Zerton, and I would encourage anybody at home who is playing the Abbasids as a main civ, or, you know, in fact, this applies to pretty much all civilizations. If you're looking to add a second town center early, typically you want to put that as far away from your opponent as possible. Now, Zerton's done a great job here putting it at the back. And you might be asking, Drongo, why the hell would you want to leave it at the back? You know, it's a town center, it's fine, it's big, it's beautiful, it's got its own bold attack. But the truth is, this town center, it doesn't have a lot of health on it. So this town center's got 2,400 health compared to a capital town center, which has got 7,000 health. So you can see it's almost 3 times as much on that capital town center. So you just want to make sure that you kind of leave your capital town center at the front, make sure that it's the first thing that they are attacking. But now, speaking of attacking, it looks like the House of Wisdom under significant threat, and Horseman going to be moving up towards that battering ram. We'll take a look with Don and see how he's doing behind this. You can see his macros looking pretty healthy. A little bit of siege on that battering ram coming in, not too much though. It's down to about 480 health at this point in time. You can see the archers behind there. He's got to be careful not to lose any villagers on this wood line. I would be making sure I move my villagers around towards this angle here. You want to avoid losing any potential villagers to that longbow mass. The other wood line towards the front here is particularly exposed, especially considering Don has got the outpost up and now actually going to be sieging down this archery range. So very smart move from Don. A lot of people might come in and look at this and be like, okay, I'm going to attack the town center. I'm going to attack the House of Wisdom. No, not the play. Always going for this infrastructure. Very smart. Don going to be moving down towards the houses as well. Now, doesn't really have a lot of information about what is on this northern side of the base. So I'd be curious to see how he reacts to that or how he looks to play. But battering ram going down to 140 health. Now, keep in mind with this battering ram, all Don is trying to do is he's trying to pick off enemy units. That's essentially it. He's using it to trade with the enemy. So when a horseman comes out and attacks this, he's going to try and look to kill him. That's essentially it. Just the fact him killing infrastructure is just a side effect of it. It is all about getting those trades in. Up towards the north, again, Don going to be expanding out here. Don actually going to be picking up tier 1, so looking to get horticulture in. We'll check and see what other upgrades he's got. It doesn't have double broad axe just yet. Obviously won't have acid distillation coming through, or rather specialized pick just yet. Definitely no acid distillation at this point. We are only 13 minutes through, Drongo, and no one's in the third age yet. But speaking of the third age, how close have we got Zerton to going up? It doesn't look like too close at all, sitting at about a third of the way at the moment. But we'll take a look at how he's doing. He's got 19 out of 30 on his golden age, so still got quite a way to go with regard to hitting that second one. But he's going to be having to work extra hard because Don is looking to try and take out and punish as much of this infrastructure as possible. Nice little archer mass beginning to build now for Zerton. My main concern is just the lack of units that he's got out in on the rest of the map. But I say that, and a whole bunch of horsemen have now come out. Spear's going to be moving forward. We'll take a look at as Don tries to defend. Spear's making a big mistake. Don's got to keep these back, and now he's in a bit of trouble, actually, falling back. There's a wall back here as well. Don going to be in a difficult spot here. Spear's definitely not enough of them. Don going to be trying to hold on. A little bit of an overextension, potentially. Maybe a bit of a misplay. We'll swing the camera back around so you guys can see it a bit easier. Spear's getting inside the battering ram. That is probably the smartest move you can do at this point, just to try and keep those alive, because as you can see, they are getting picked off. I think there's a villager that's just fallen down in the midst of things as well. So unfortunate. It could be a spear, though. You can never tell the difference between a villager and a spear. Or at least I can't. But you still bore as you can. But yeah, smart move to keep the spears in the battering ram. I think that's probably going to be the best play, the best way that he can make it work. He could definitely move this battering ram forward and begin applying a bit of pressure. He's got the longbow mass. We'll take a look what Zerton's running with 28 archers versus the 22 longbows. So a significant mass difference. Villager running forward again. Going to get sniped if he's not careful. No textiles on that bad boy. Don now under significant pressure. Zerton looking to push out. We'll zoom in so we can get our eyes on this mass. The English push might be coming to an end here, and if that is so, Zerton's going to have free reign to get up to the third age and then potentially look to punish Don Artie underneath this outpost. Don going to be trying his best to hold on. Battering ram sitting by idly. Don looking to pick off these horsemen. Doing a pretty decent job of it as well. It looks like only 3 horsemen remain. Not a lot of health on them either, and now falling back towards his own walls. This is where Don really needed to try and get those fight, but Zerton doing a great job of picking his fight and you know, managing to get Don right into the corner. They say nobody puts Don in the corner, but it turns out Zerton definitely does do that. And he's done a great job of picking off the longbows here as well. But speaking of longbows, still got 2 longbows inside that outpost. Looks like he's also upgraded that. Got the arrow slits coming out as well. And we can just hear, these are the whiniest archers I've ever heard. As they're dying, I can just hear them go, oh, oh. It's like, bro, take it like a man. Every other man besides you has taken an arrow through the knee. There's no need to cry about it, all right? But Don now going to be looking to put some pressure on the House of Wisdom. And now one of the things to note is if this House of Wisdom does go down, there's going to be no way that Zerton's actually able to age up until he repairs it. So, you know, Zerton's definitely got his eyes set on getting up to the next stage. You can see the current resources at the moment. Zerton really keen on getting up to that next stage. But Don, if he's got anything to say about it, won't be permitting it. Battering ram now going to be moving forward as well here for Zerton, and a smart move considering there is just a lack of siege or anti-siege at this point, counter-siege at this point. A lot of longbows out. They're going to be able to fire off and tee off. Now it looks like a few spearmen going to be coming out, and at the same time it looks like we've got horsemen moving forward. Don got to be careful here. Spear's going to be going down. Horsemen getting onto the back line. Longbows doing their best to try and kite away, but the horsemen just doing a beautiful job of just getting in there nice and quick. That super fast movement speed, 1.88 movement speed. Now Don getting tough, or getting put in a really tough position, having to fall back behind his wall, and I don't think he's going to be coming back out for a while, I suspect. There was an outpost that was attempted to go down up on this wood line, but going to be denied by Zerton. Zerton managing to secure that one up. We'll do a bit of a stock take now. Don sitting on 52 villagers, 22 military. On the other side of the map, we've got 73 villagers, 18 military, so significant villager difference. And we've got a third age coming through. Zerton looking incredibly strong in this second game. Keep in mind, this is right now match point. If Don Artie does win this game, Zerton will be going home. If Don Artie loses this game, we're going to be going through to round number 3. So I'm sure you guys in the chat right now probably rooting for Zerton. I know you guys want to see a game 3 between these guys, but it looks like he's going to be going up with the military wing, and I support this 100%. I think this is probably one of the most underused wings in the game, underutilized, underappreciated as well. I know that preservation of knowledge is a wonderful tech, but I really feel like camel support is just, oh man, there's nothing that gets me going harder in the morning, faster in the morning than a little bit of camel support. Oh god, Drongo, what did I say? I mean, I could be referring to the cigarettes. There's a brand of cigarettes called Camels. Maybe that's what I'm talking about. Who knows? But in all seriousness, I really do like camel support. I think it's a super great tech. So, looking forward to seeing that one come out. But Villager over towards the east going to be looking to secure up a wall out here. Don actually manages to spot it. He's trying to put an end to it. Villager does have its textiles. I was going to say its great coat. That's an Age of Empires 3 reference, but no, that's not what we are going to be talking about. Don continuing to try and make the push work. At this point, I kind of feel like, I thought that was a third town center for a sec that popped up on the minimap. I was like, oh my god, this certain guy's wild. But no, only going to be 2. But yeah, Don, I really feel like he is like the mean girls right now. Like, stop trying to make this push work, Don. Stop trying to make fetch work, Don. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're not going to make it work. But Zerton really under a lot of pressure now. Don still managing to try and push in. We'll take a look from the perspective of Don now as he pushes back. Still these longbows. The critical mass is still yet to be reached, and you can see now the villager is going to be sieging down the battering ram. That's exactly what Zerton wants to be doing. If you're watching this at home and wondering how do you counter the battering ram, villagers. Villagers are the way that you do it, but you've got to be very careful. You have to be fighting your enemy's army at the same time that you're burning down their battering ram. Really, really important. But now it looks like Zerton manages to somewhat go even. We'll do a little bit of a stock take and see the count between these guys. 9 archers here versus 20 archers for Don Hardy. So it's not looking the best for Zerton. But Zerton obviously behind this, probably going to be dropping behind or dropping out a... we got a triple barracks. We've got a triple archery range here. So he's looking to go for the men-at-arms. He's going for archers of his own. He does not have the veteran archers yet. Going to be going for a Lancer as well. So, yeah, I mean, he's absolutely fine. He's also got the +1 range upgrade as well. So, going to be only taking 2 damage a pop. And now those Lancers going to be running in. And I think this is going to be all she wrote for Don's little push here at the front. So, Don definitely going to have to look at moving into a second plan. I would say at this point, the push has probably come to shove. And it might be time to think about what your options are now that you're in trouble. I would definitely say at this point in time, Don is in trouble. No upgrades coming through from Zerton yet, so we'll do a quick check of the upgrades that he has got. So you can see that there's nothing in the way of economic upgrades. No camel support just yet. We'll check on his blacksmith. You can see he's just got +1s on the range at the moment. But back on Don's side, I'm curious to see what he's got. And he is going straight for age 3, and that is a very smart move. You can actually see right now he's got a whole bunch of villagers on the King's Palace going to be going up. He's still kind of looking like he might just go straight towards Imperial at the moment, but beautiful base layout from Don here. I got to give him a 10 out of 10 for that. Actually, you know what? I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I don't like your blacksmith position. It's too close to the town center. Ideally, blacksmith, it's a really big building. You want to kind of keep it out on the edges of your base. But other than that, Don, 10 out of 10, buddy. Yeah, actually 9 out of 10. We'll give you 9 out of 10 because you're Don. You're not allowed to have a 10, Don. I feel like the Chinese Olympic Committee at this point, like nobody can get a 10 except for China. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Drongo, calm down. We're all nepotistic, Drongo. It's not just those guys. Yes. I mean, if I was on the Australian Olympic Committee and I was in charge of doing the scores, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that triple backflip was okay, but did you see the Australian guy? Did you see the Australian guy? Yeah, he had a skateboard. That's a 10. I should know, that's a 10. You guys know me. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about how the game is unfolding. Mangonel has finally unpacked itself. It's going to be looking to secure up a little bit of a presence here on this front wall. 1,500 HP going down to less than 100 in just a short second as he manages to break through. And now the damage is going to start coming because this army is looking pretty beastly from Zerton. So he's up to 19 archers at this point. Do we have veteran archers coming through? Indeed, we've got veteran archers coming through. A lot of men-at-arms going to be coming through here as well. And Don definitely going to be on the back foot. I would expect the response to this from Don is going to be men-at-arms, spears, and mangonels. That's what I would like to see. So let's have a look and see what we've got. It looks like he's going for armor Chad together with men-at-arms, as you would if you're doing armor Chad. But I'm curious to see whether he's going to be looking to add in his upgrades. He's going for +2 range. No +1 melee upgrades at this stage. Very curious to be going armor Chad. Has added the siege workshop in. You can see that down the hill. You can look how far away that is as well. Up in this position, I just feel like I'm very high up right now. But now a push coming out across the map. Don going to be trying to do his armor Chad. And yeah, 7 men-at-arms currently out. Has he got the upgrades for them? Let's have a look and see whether they've come through. Gosh, I can't click a single one. No, there we go. All right, it looks like they have yet to come through. So almost coming through. And we hear that mangonel shot landing, doing a fair bit of damage, but all that siege coming out as well. 6 ranged armor on these men-at-arms, but now Don's going to be able to turn around and look to dish out some damage. That mangonel's the unit he's going to be particularly careful of. You can see it just sitting back there and just how much work it's going to be able to do. It gets off a shot on a single men-at-arms, a very nice use of the men-at-arms, and now a forward castle going to be coming down here for Zerton as well. We'll head into the cinematic mode and begin to watch as the men-at-arms begin swinging their swords valiantly, bravely on the front lines. Mangonel at the same time going to be working on these longbows. Look how much health it's got. Manages to go down. I think there must have been a Springald in the mix. Indeed there was. I don't know where that Springald came from, but obviously it came from downtown because that Zerton Mangonel is no longer for this world. Looks like all the men-at-arms going to be gone down for the moment. Don going to be trying to reinforce there. You can see the armor Chad's going to be coming out now. And Don going to be falling back. The Springald does go down as well, so a bit of a trade there. Mangonel for a Springald. I think Zerton's going to be okay with that trade. But now it looks like the reinforcement's going to continue coming in for Zerton. We hear those attack warnings going off, and it sounds like behind this, Don's wall under attack. You can see those reinforcements there for Zerton just absolutely beginning to flood the map. Mangonel now coming down as well. Keep in mind, he doesn't need a Siege Workshop. He is playing the Abbasid Dynasty, part of the strongest, you know, not technologies in the game. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a technology. It's an ability, to be honest. Their ability to build siege out in the field is just unparalleled, unrivaled. I mean, obviously, the Mangonels. The Mongols can also rival it, but that's only because it's basically the same thing. They also get to make the trebuchet, whereas Zerton, on the other hand, he is not going to have access to that trebuchet from his villagers. He'll need to make a siege workshop for that, but I definitely love the forward keep here, right on his enemy's hill. Longbows now going to be trying their best to tee off. Donardi on the defensive. Mangonel also coming up, but keep in mind he's fighting uphill. Have a look at the elevation difference between these two guys. So whereas Don's down the hill... Do you see the Mangonel shot? It looks hilarious. It looked like he was like, what? Up. Let me draw the arc from the Mangonel. What? There you go. That was the Mangonel arc right there. But 3 Springalds now out for Zerton as well, dropping down a Mangonel on the front line. This is what makes the Abbasid so incredibly strong. Like, when you think about it, this single ability makes the Abbasid so incredibly strong, and Don is finding out the hard way. You can see those Chad armors running in. They got the 7 ranged armor, so only going to be taking 1 damage against veteran archers. But at the same time, he's got to be worried a bit more about the men-at-arms that just completely rampage through the base. Don adding in more infrastructure, but at the same time, we see Zerton now adding in a forward outpost, and you can see the way he overlooks the base of Donardi at this position. It looks like he's doing incredibly well. Donardi in a bit of a difficult spot here as he continues to get picked off. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some infrastructure coming down on the back line. It looks like he's just going to be going for a mill, though. Dealing with these men-at-arm raids, you can see the difference between these two units. 10 ranged attack with only, I think it was 6 armor, so a total of 4 damage, versus Don, which was like, what was it, 7 and 8, I think, so only doing 1 damage. So 4 times the damage coming out of those longbows versus enemy men-at-arm. So big difference there. Don also on the gold very heavily out to this left side of the map. But Zerton just sieging down very casually his opponent's base. All the infrastructure on the front line really going to be regretfully placed as another Mangonel once again comes out under construction. We can see that Zerton's reached 170 population. He's sitting up on 109 villagers at this point in time. Don on the other side only on 82 villagers and less population than his enemy has got villagers. So he is not in a good position at all. Poor Donardi having to deal with the Abbasid Dynasty, the new top civ. I mean, like, these guys are looking incredible when you think about it, when it comes to, you know, how well they've managed to do in this matchup on this map. Abbasid looking incredibly strong here. You know, we saw Abbasid in the last game as well. Another very potent game by the Abbasid. So who knows? Maybe the Abbasid, one of the next S tier civilizations, could have that single buff taken them all the way from D tier up to S tier. That's one of the possibilities that we could see here. But obviously, we'll have to wait. We'll have to see. We'll have to assess it slowly as we get more information. But now it looks like Zerton going to be putting some nails in coffins. There's never been a better way to do it than with a battering ram. I mean, or a hammer. I guess a hammer would also work. But when you think about it, a battering ram is kind of like a big hammer. And you know what they say? If you drive a battering ram, everything looks like a door. But now a keep going to be going up again in the base of Don. This is the second keep that's going to be coming up. And Don really going to be... You might look at this and think, this is not a big deal. This is a huge deal. It locks down all 3 of these buildings. If any units come out of these 3 production facilities, they cannot survive. They will get immediately evaporated by this absolutely huge keep. Look how big that is. That takes up my entire screen. And I got a huge screen. I mean, it would be more about resolution, I guess, Drongo, but good try there. Good try. I feel like I need 2 personalities. I need, like, stupid Drongo, and I need, like, not stupid Drongo. And stupid Drongo exists 100% of the time, and not stupid Drongo just exists in, like, the editing. You know, he comes in as like, and this is an edit from non-stupid Drongo, just to clarify stupid Drongo's earlier comments. Yeah, now it looks like Zerton going to be sieging down the King's Palace. Going to be the first landmark that looks to go down here. When this King's Palace does go down, Don only going to have the 2 landmarks behind it. And Don's starting to build up a bit of a mass back here. We'll head over into the cinematic mode because it looks like these guys are about to try and get down and dirty. But it takes 2 to tango. Don moving his feet as best he can. Unfortunately, it looks like he does have 2 left feet and getting completely overwhelmed by his opponent, who's just teeing off from the back. Probably doing 1 damage an arrow now that I think about it. But hey, it still looks pretty cool. These men-at-arms are going to be the real difference here, because these Abbasid men-at-arms, not only do they carry awesome scimitars. I think they're called scimitars. Let's check and see. No, they're just called swords as well. I'm going to call them scimitars. It looks like a scimitar to me. I mean, they're just overwhelming Don at this point. Landmark does go down. Second town center for Don going down. Battering rams continuing to batter down the hatches. And Don looking like he might be Instead of Don Artie, you might have a little bit of Dead Artie. And there he goes, tapping out, ladies and gentlemen. Zerton wins the second game in the series, and we go through to a deciding match. I hope you guys have enjoyed this casted game. Make sure you check out both of these players below. I'm going to leave links in the description to their respective Twitch pages. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.